Thursday night. It's time for Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. And I'm your host, Vegas Jay.
And I'm Philly Nay. Hi, everybody.
What's happening, Nay? How are you, girlfriend?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Back home in Vegas after my little jaunt to, where was I? I was in Orlando and I was in Tampa. So
yes.
I'm back home in home base. And as we start every show, it is, I forgot. There we go. It is Jay's Tiki Talk, and tonight's a little extra special because we have a friend in town who has never been to Frankie's, so I'm going to take her to Frankie's tonight. And so tonight, I am going to teach you guys something. I'm using one of the mugs from Frankie's Tiki Room here in Vegas. This was the original mug for the drink called the Lava Lech. It was made by a very famous lowbrow artist named Von Franco, and this got retired very early. And this mug if you know who Von Franco is, this mug kind of looks like him. So if you find this mug, it is a $100 mug every day of the week.
Wow.
I wish I had a few more. So let me take a sip here.
So lech is milk in Spanish. So does that actually contain milk?
No milk.
Okay, I was just wondering. Now, when you're done with your portion, I have a little contribution to your Tiki Talk.
All right, cool. And everybody get ready to giggle because I'm going to show you which rum I'm drinking tonight.
Okay.
I am drinking Big Black Dick.
Oh, my.
And it's not any Big Black Dick because there's many. This is dark Big Black Dick.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what I'm drinking tonight. Let the jokes commence.
Yes, I'm sure they will. So I am drinking. Are you ready for my little portion?
Yep, you are
here?
on, girlfriend.
Okay. So since I still cannot have alcohol due to my medications, since I'm still recovering from my double mastectomy, I have iced green pomegranate tea, and it's pretty good. Not as good as Jason's rum drink.
Not as good as Big Black Dick?
And I am wearing tonight, if you can see the front, and if I turn around, I'm going to have to take my headphones off for a second.
That is my home bar, the Denison.
There, you see the back?
Yep. Okay,
so that is a gift from Jason when he came to Philly here. This is a Den of Sin shirt, and Den of Sin is Stacy and Jason's personal home bar. So it's a very special. It's a very special shirt. It was a special gift from Jason. So that's my little tiki contribution. So they have an awesome home tiki bar. I've been there, and it's great. So
I want to go back to the Big Black Dick for a second. If you go looking for this, you cannot buy it in the States. So don't go to your liquor store and then be all mad at me if you want some Big Black Dick. You have to have a friend who's going to the Caribbean, preferably the Cayman Islands, and pick it up there. And they have dark chocolate and spice, I think, are the three main flavors of their rum. All right, so that is our Tiki Time Minute.
Okay, Jason, I just want to make sure we're not having any technical difficulties. You suddenly got lower. Can you hear me fine?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I guess it might just be me. If anyone in the audience is having trouble hearing Jason, just comment on it.
I don't think anyone has any problems hearing me, but you.
So as long as everybody can hear it, okay. Might just be me. Okay.
All right, after Tiki Time, it is. Oh, we got to get that rocking for Nadine.
Yeah, there you go.
Nadine's breast cancer update and fact of the week.
Okay. So I am now on week 3 post-mastectomy. I'm still in some pain. Now, I won't get into specific details, but the reconstruction process is kind of starting, and it's a little painful. So I am dealing with some pain from yesterday's appointment. The other thing is my right arm, I have mentioned this before, due to the lymph nodes being removed, I have nerve damage, I have loss of range of motion and weakness. So that's my biggest hurdle. But I'm going to physical therapy every week. I'm doing great with it. I'm doing my home exercises. Jason yells at me if I don't do my exercises to make sure every day that I'm doing my arm exercises. And I'm also now on a drug called Neurontin, which is supposed to help with the nerve regeneration, so that's good. Now, I told you last week my bone scan was clear, no cancer of the bones. However, my full body CT scan unfortunately did show what looks like a tumor on my thyroid. I'm going tomorrow for an ultrasound for that. It doesn't mean it is breast cancer that's spread, but there is a likelihood that it is. So,
booze.
I know, but it's okay because it's better to, if it is breast cancer that's spread, it's better to spread to my thyroid than say my lungs or my brain or something like that. It will be treatable. So it's just it'll just be another setback and you know, kind of a pain, but we don't know yet, and I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated on that. I'm going tomorrow for the first thyroid ultrasound. So that's now my breast cancer fact of the week. It actually has to do with men and breast cancer. I don't know if you guys knew, but everybody talks about women and it's pink and it's a women's disease. However, men can get breast cancer. It's rare for men to have breast cancer, but all people, whether male or female, are born with some breast cells and tissue that can develop cancer. Less than 1% of breast cancer cases develop in men, and the incidence is approximately 1 in 1,000. Now, you're talking about 1 in every 8 women. It's 1 in every 1,000 men, so that's a big difference. However, here's the other thing. Because men don't usually think that they can get breast cancer, they have a much higher mortality rate than women. Because they're more likely to assume if they have a lump or something, they're not likely to assume that they have breast cancer. So due to a lack of awareness in men with breast cancer, which is another thing that, you know, that's why I'm doing this, unfortunately, it causes a delay in seeking treatment, and by the time most men that have it figure out what they have, it's in the late stages, unfortunately. So that's different. So we do also need to be aware that men can get breast cancer. So that's my fact of the week.
Alrighty. Well, good to see you sitting upright and
thank you,
smiling and everything else.
Thank you.
Now let's get on to our scores of the week. I will jump off and start here.
Okay.
And let me switch over to my score because we've been talking about it quite a bit in Thrifting with the Boys. So let me bring it back here. And my score of the week is a giant bra. I know, shock of shockers. So this is a 32I, as in FGHI 32. And I bought a whole bunch of these. I think it's artists. I will not repeat my cacao from last week.
It's a cacique.
I know. But I'm pretty sure this is artists. And my wife and I, or actually Stacy, found a whole bunch. And we got a bunch of I's and J's and stuff. We paid $2 a piece. And this one just sold for $40.
So this is actually Stacy's score, right?
Yeah, so okay. When I do make Stacy go thrifting, she takes over the bra and PJ section, T-shirts, and dresses for me.
Okay, go Stacy. Yay.
And then this is my other score. Whoops, wrong. I could click in the right spot. I bought this on Season 2 of Thrift Talkers. It took a while to sell, but I'm like, who makes a Hawaiian shirt with bucking stallions on it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
This is not normal, but I'm like, somebody's going to love this shirt. I've had it on sale many times, and someone paid me full price for it this week, $34.99, and I think I paid $3 for it. So
awesome.
When you find that weird, thing that doesn't seem to belong,
they're kind of they're kind of just floating in the middle of the Hawaiian foliage. It's kind of funny actually. So.
And the person needed it right away. They're like, "Can you ship today?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
That's funny. That's great.
I do want to show. I do want to show one more score, and I think I don't have yours up, Nadine. So we're going to have to pause for a second.
No.
Yeah, I just realized I forgot to do yours. So una momento.
Mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show you this score. I bought a whole bunch of Cabo Wabo tequila bandanas at Savers one day. I probably bought like 82 of them. I paid $1.40 each, and Cabo Wabo tequila was owned by Sammy Hagar. And what I did was I was selling them for like $25 a piece or two for $40, and I put the combo of the yellow and the black together. And I wanted to show this not so much for the score, but to show everyone that your first picture does not have to be a full-size picture of your entire item or both items. I did a nice little folded, kind of neat and tidy, and then I went through and took pictures of the full bandanas. But that was my opening shot. Very nice and neat. Don't need to show everything. So those are my 2 scores. I am going to put Nadine on to riff for 2 seconds while I fix my mistake.
Okay, so let's see what should I talk about.
Yeah, where did you send them to me, by the way?
Anybody in the chat room have any questions? Let me look at some of them. Stacy could wear that bra as a skirt. Okay, that's what Christine said. That would be quite funny, actually. Nice score, Stacy. Yes, I agree. That was Stacy's score and not Jason's. We'll give Stacy credit for that one. Let's see. I'm trying to go through some of the other little chat room.
I'm getting your scores here, so I'll be back with you in 2
Okay.
seconds.
Okay, Kathy Glassford, I appreciate your comment about the mass. I'm sorry that you had that mass on your thyroid, but yeah, that's what I've heard, that thyroid cancer is completely treatable. So I'm really not scared. It's just like an annoyance. But I'm glad that you're doing well, Kathy. Thank you for sharing that story.
All right, I have fixed my mistake.
Okay, so we went through some of the chat room talk, and
sorry about that. You seem very prepared. My bad. That's not like me. All right, so here we are. On to Nadine's scores. Here we go. Here is score number 1.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't see it
there
yet.
we go. Now you'll see it.
I still don't see it, so I'm just waiting for it to come up.
You don't see it?
No, I do not. I see a blank screen still, Jason, so we might be having some technical difficulties. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm watching the feed, and let's see what happens here.
Okay, maybe it's just taking a minute. I don't know, but I don't see my score.
All right, well, I'll tell you what it is. So I'll watch the feed and see if it actually shows up. It's the Betsey Johnson purse.
Okay, I don't see it, but...
Yeah, it's on your end, girlfriend, because I see it on the feed, so something's wrong at your end.
Really? So can everybody in the audience see it then, I guess?
I see it in the feed, so it's
okay.
up. So you're just going to have to wing it.
Yeah, it's odd too because I'm not seeing it in my feed. So, but okay, yes, that's fine. We will. I'll just talk about it and trust that it's up there. Sorry. So that is actually I found a new with tags, Betsey Johnson Leopard-Print Crossbody purse. Now I think I paid like $10 or $11 for it. And it was new with tags. No one had ever used it, obviously. Now, any kind of animal print, especially leopard print, for some reason always sells well. And also, Betsey Johnson, anything Betsey Johnson that I ever find sells well for me. Like, I always know that I'm going to have something hot with Betsey Johnson. So that sold for $35.99. So that was a good score, and it turned around pretty quick. I probably could have actually asked a little more for it, but that was about the going MSRP on that particular bag, so I didn't want to go too high, and I did get a nice fast turnaround with a good profit. So.
All right, I'm now, even though you can't see it, I'm now showing your other score.
Okay, yeah, I cannot see it.
Chick large coffee mug.
Okay, so I'm trusting that everyone can see that. I cannot, but that was actually, now it kind of was made to look like the Harley-Davidson logo kind of look. It had nothing to do with Harley-Davidson, so obviously I did not use that anywhere in the listing because that would have been keyword spamming. However, that mug, I had seen the same exact mug sold for like around $15. There weren't a lot up when I put mine up, but I think what sold mine well was not just the keywords that I used, but also my picture kind of stood out, I think, more than the others. You know, my first picture with the white background, no clutter in the background. It was a good, clear picture. And I did sell that for the full price of $29.99, and I think I paid 99 cents for that mug. So that was definitely a good score for just a pretty much run-of-the-mill coffee mug. There was really nothing too special about it except the, you know, I'm sure that somebody that was into motorcycles obviously bought it, but so that was a good score.
I'd love to see a picture of her. Like, hey, give me a picture of you drinking a coffee mug.
Of a biker chick that actually bought it. Yeah, I know, and it was actually a woman that I sold it to. I do remember that. It was a little while ago, but I do remember that. So yeah.
All right, before I actually hit the toilet flush, do you see the Dud of the Week artwork?
No, I see nothing. I just see a black screen.
All right, well, you're just going to have to trust me the rest of the show, girlfriend.
Okay.
All right, so, whoops, I just turned it off by accident. Now I don't see it.
Now I see you. I see you now.
All right, do you
What
see the dud of
happened?
the week now?
I don't see the dad of the week. I see you.
All right, well, I don't know, but you are screwed tonight. All right, so
That's
here we
fine.
go.
I'll just have to go do it blindly. That's fine. We'll just roll along.
We did our score of the week, and now it's time to do our dud of the week. Oops, I didn't wait for it to stop flushing. All right, here's my dud of the week. I actually have two. I have a one in person and one that I sold. And the one that I sold, I bought because for a couple of reasons. I do quite well with crew shirts from concerts, local crews. When a concert comes to your town, the local crew gets a shirt. Most of them are kind of plain. Some are very elaborate. Ozzy's had some cool ones, Metallica. And those always sell well. This was a crew shirt from the X Games in Barcelona. I'm always thinking, oh, cool. People love extreme sports, X Games. I had it up for a couple months. I finally got an offer of $10, and it went foreign, so I got paid for shipping. So I was happy to let it go. But I thought that would be kind of cool. I was apparently wrong, so my bad. Always buy crew shirts from concerts, not so much from sporting events. All right, here's my other dud. Our good friend, Ellie, and also one of the admins in Thrifty with the Boys, we were thrifting in Orlando. She said, oh, you should buy this. And I too thought I should buy this. And then I got home, it's a dud. Ellie had me buy this pink with shirt with white collar and the white French cuffs. And I'll show you the brand. It is Donald J. Trump. And politics aside, he's in the news every damn day. So I thought it would be a good thing because, like him or hate him, he's in the news every day. Well, this shirt routinely sells for $10, and I think I paid $5. So there's my dud of the week. Huh? And I'm not blaming Ellie, but she stuck it in my hand. So Ellie led me down the path of not riches, unfortunately.
Well, we still love Ellie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to pretend you can see this, and I'm on to your dud.
I actually can see you again. I don't know what happened, but hopefully my whatever glitch is, I can see my mug.
All right, cool. All right, we're back to business. You're
hopefully,
up,
and I didn't do anything, so hopefully we're good. Okay, so this is a funny story. This mug I sold for $15.80, which you would think normally, you know, when you FOMO a mug, you know, that's not a bad price for just a typical Dunkin' Donuts coffee mug. However, I decided this wasn't selling for a long time, so I took it out of my store, I unlisted it, and I've been using it for like the last probably 6 months or more. And as I've been using it, it's gotten very scratched, and all of a sudden, you know, the other day I get a cha-ching, and I'm like, I thought that wasn't listed anymore. So apparently somehow I accidentally relisted the mug, and it's all scratched up now, which I used the barkeeper's friend on it, and I got the scratches off, and I'm like, okay, I think I can still, you know, it'll be okay. Then I look on the bottom, and there's a darn chip on it from use. I had no intention of selling the mug. It just accidentally got relisted. So I can't drive right now still because I'm still recovering. So my sweet mom, who was taking me to a doctor's appointment that day, this was a couple days ago, drove me around to 3 different Dunkin' Donuts in the area until I finally did find the same exact mug, thank goodness, at one of the Dunkin' Donuts. I bought it for, I think it was $5.99, and then I shipped it. So by the time I shipped it and paid for the mug and everything, I really I almost had to pay to sell it. So that was definitely a dud. However, it also is a lesson in customer service. I think it's a good lesson. If something like that does happen, don't panic. See what you can do to get another one as fast as you can. I was very lucky that one of the Dunkin' Donuts in the area still carried these mugs because they were from last year, and so that's my dud story for that.
That's a painfully expensive dud.
I know, and my mom was my poor mom, you know, because I still can't drive. I have to thank her. She's watching right now because she was the one that drove me around to the Dunkin' Donuts. So.
All right. Is your other dud?
Yeah, so this was from last week, if you remember. This was my Avon dud that we cha-chinged in the middle of the show, and I was all excited. So I have to thank our good friend Henry Sherrick. He's one of our he's a very active member of our groups. He's a good friend of both Jason and I, and he is the one who bought my Avon candle, which was really sweet of him. And he was actually excited about it. He liked it, he got it, he loved it. And so I have to say, I just wanted to send a shout out to Henry and say thank you, Henry, for purchasing that. So that's my follow-up.
Speaking of that, I want to pause for one moment and go to your store real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You might have told me, but it always hurts my head when I try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain the name of your store, why it is what it is?
Yeah, so
mine's pretty easy. Yours I don't get.
I know. So at the time that I started my store, I kind of wish I would change the name now, but I don't want to go through the whole thing because everybody knows me as that, and it's. So I didn't have. I have 3 children. I have Colin, I have Brendan, and I have Declan. So when Declan's only 2.5, Colin and Brendan are 6 and 7. When I started my store about 5 years ago, I just had Colin and Brendan. So I have the first 3 letters of their names, Cole and Bray. That's Cole Bray. And then I don't know why I put the darned asterisk in there because it just makes it harder for everybody to. And Dazzle, like I wanted it to be Dazzling Finds because when I first started selling, I was only doing women's fashion and clothing and accessories. That was it. I've branched out to more. I still do mostly that. Like that's still my niche, my favorite thing. Shoes, accessories, women's stuff. So that's why I designed that little banner, my logo and everything. But anyway, so that explains that. It's just the first 3 letters of my kids' names, and I wanted it to be dazzling and kind of like women's boutique-y, but now it's kind of become a little mix of everything as it's evolved. So my name probably doesn't fit anymore, but that's what it is.
All right, cool. Well, now I know. I think I heard that before, but it's one of those things where I see your name,
yep.
and I'm just like, I always forget. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's how it happened. And Declan wasn't in the picture then, so his name was not. That would have been a really crazy name, though. I don't know how I would have fit that in, too.
All right. We've done our scores. We've done our duds. We've learned why Nadine's name has an asterisk in it. And now it is time for our Thrifty tip of the week.
Okay.
And I had 2 classes last week, so I have a Thrifty tip both in a sale and live and in person. So when we go to the thrift store and I'm teaching a class and we're in the plush section, we talk about a few things. But the one thing I always try and impart on my class is look for the weirdest animal in the plush section. Okay, there's 10,000 teddy bears. There's 10,000 bunnies. But look for the weird, the different, the one that, like, really get the hell out of here. So I was telling my Orlando class about this one specifically, and oddly enough, I sold it just as I got back. So it's one of those things where you talk about it and it sells. So this was, and I don't like my original first picture, but it sold. This is a otter laying on his back eating a mollusk. Okay, so not normal. You do not normally see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there he is. I'll give you his little shots. Boom, boom, boom. He's from the Monterey Aquarium. But totally different. I paid $2. I saw him for $30. Now, while I was teaching that class, and I'll come back to me here, and when I teach classes, I don't buy much. I'm there to teach people what to buy. I usually buy a couple things, usually for stuff I'm going to use for myself. And this was in the plush section. It is a bookworm. And there are such things as bookworms, and these are real things. So here's the bookworm. And so these are plush microbes. So here's the bookworm. And I don't plan on selling him. I just thought it was so awesome, and he was like $2. But there's my weird thing. So find the weirdest animal in your plush section, and that's your winner.
That is a weird one. I know at your house, Jason, when I was at your house, you have some, I forget what it is, it's some kind of a virus, but you thought that it was actually like a nautical thing, so you had it, and do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, my wife is watching live. If she hears this, you can reach it, bring it up here before this is over, and I will show what Nadine's talking about.
Yeah,
yes,
I remember.
I'm an idiot, and I could have just read the label. I would have known better. Okay, what's your tip?
Oh, my tip is with women's shoes. Now I'm gonna use these particular shoes. These are heels. You'll see in a minute why they are actually. It's kind of part of the tip. It's part of my shipping tip too. So there's gonna be a dual purpose. I'll explain during my shipping tip why the green inside. Anyway, particularly with women's heels when you're shopping. Okay, this does apply to other shoes, but more with heels. What you're looking for, this is a pair of Ralph Lauren shoes. I don't necessarily, like, this is Ralph Lauren. It's one of their lower end shoes, but these are in really good condition. They're patent leather. They have like the cutouts, you know, there and everything. So they're unusual. Now, what you look for, particularly with women's heels, obviously the surface. You want to look at the outside surface. You want to look on the inside. These are in great condition on the inside. That's called the insole. You want to make sure that the padding on the insole is still there and that it's not worn down. You want to look for any scratches, especially in the back here. Now, particularly with high heels, I don't know if you can see, you look at the very bottom of the heel right here. And this part very often gets pitted, worn down, and it's uneven. If that's the case, I won't buy them because it's you know, like they're harder to wear. It's not once heels like at that uneven kind of bottom edge, they're kind of worn out, even if the rest of them looks good. So I won't buy them then. So this one, like, it's pretty good. It's not pitted. It's straight. There's a little dirt. I have to clean these up. The bottoms, if there's dirt and wear on the bottoms, especially these are leather soles, especially with that's totally expected and that's acceptable. And with leather soles, you don't want to clean them the standard way because they will stain. The other area to look for is the very front here. If you can see, like, right where the seat, like, kind of like the bottom outsole meets the upper. And if that often is an area that will kind of come apart. It'll separate. If you see any separation there, do not buy the shoes because the whole outsole is then about to separate from the upper. So you don't want to buy those. In this case, these are not, there's no separation there. You kind of have to almost pull down a little bit to make sure that nothing gives. If nothing gives, you're good. So that's my lesson about when you're in the thrift store looking for women's heels in particular, what to look for and in what case you would not want to buy them. Now, also, like, there's a little bit of creasing on the top here. That's okay. If there's major creasing, you're probably not going to want to buy them unless they're like a really high-end brand. So that's my tip for what to look for and when not to buy and when to buy women's heels particularly.
All right, let's go right into it. You have got to be shipping me since you are going right from your thrifty tip to your shipping tip. We're going to go right to it. So you're up still.
So these shoes are going to be my example for my shipping tip as well. Now, if I have flats, like, I'm just going to take my flip-flop off right now and show you. Like, if I have flats like that, they ship in a padded flat rate, okay? Heels like this will not go in a padded flat rate. This whole heel is vulnerable to break off in shipping. So you do not want to do that with heels. So I'm going to show you how to ship heels. Now, when I store them, I just happen to have green tissue paper lying around. I always stuff them with my shoes when I store them and when I ship them with tissue paper. This prevents them from, when you're storing them, from getting flattened out. And when you're shipping them, it holds their shape too. So I always do that right away. I bring them home from the thrift store. I clean them up. After I clean them up, I stuff them with paper. The next thing I have not cleaned these yet. I'm just showing you guys as an example. So next thing you do, just take some tissue paper, and you're going to just wrap them up just like that. Now you can also take like store bags. I don't think that looks as neat, so I don't like that. You can use the little bubbles, the little bubble wrap. That's fine too. I use tissue paper. It works fine. You're going to want to take both of them. I use like 2 pieces. wrap them up really good like that. And make sure that the heels on each are not touching, as you would find them in a shoebox. Heels here, other heel is here. You don't want them scraping together in shipping. You don't want them rubbing together or scratching each other. And then what I use for most women's shoes is the standard shoebox from the post office. I just ordered a bunch more because I was out of my padded flat rate envelopes. Another shipping tip: check your inventory. I just made that mistake. So what I do after that, I just slide them in like this. Now, I don't have any peanut. I'm not going to actually stuff it with peanuts, but I slide them in like that together, just like you would in a shoebox. And then I fill it. Actually, first I fill a little bit of peanuts on the bottom. Then I put the shoes in, and then I just fill it with peanuts, so that there's no rubbing together or anything, and just to give them some cushion. Heels are very important to do this with because, like I said, the heels can break off, and you do not want them scraping together and damaging each other. So that's my tip about shipping women's heels.
All right, my tip is what not to do. I buy a lot of stuff online, and I am floored by what shows up at my front door. I bought my wife this awesome tiki dress on eBay last week. There we go. It's got awesome tikis on it.
Oh, that is cool.
And it weighs a grand total of 10.4 ounces. So if I was selling this dress, all you need is a poly mailer. It would go first class, no big deal. It came in this big box, and I'm going to show you where they made a huge, huge mistake. See what this says? First class, 13 ounces. Yeah, this with the dress weighed 1 pound, 3 ounces. They so cheated, and had the post office caught this, me as a customer would have had to pay the difference between 13 ounces first class and priority for 1 to 2 pounds. Don't ever do this. That is gambling with your reputation. Don't, and don't again. All right, okay. That's my shipping tip of the week. What not to do. Alrighty. So we have now done that, and we are going to do our 2-minute topic of the week. And here we go. All right, our topic is by Matthew Carlotz. He wants to know, what do you do when you get a return back that is not in its original packaging? Do you refund, partial refund, or no refund? All right. Let me get Nadine up here. Let me get the timer going. And let's talk about what do you do about returns that do not come back in the condition they showed up in. Ready, and go.
Okay, so when I get a return back, I don't sell a lot of, mostly what I sell new is new tags clothing. I do have a rule that I do not accept back clothing with tags removed if it's new, because it's harder to sell after that. As far as package stuff, I've never had that happen to me. I don't sell a lot of new package stuff, but I have sold some. Now, if someone just opened a return and they just sent it back and it came back that way, honestly, I would probably just refund them. I'd be a little annoyed maybe, but it's life, it's business. I would refund them and I would move on and just sell it as used. However, I did have a woman request a return, and she told me flat out that she had removed the tags, washed it, and the item had shrunk a bit. And so I did not take that back. I did refuse that return because it wouldn't have been sellable to me on my end again. And I'm sorry, but it was on her. So there you go.
Time's up.
Okay, I'm getting to be at a minute now instead of 55 seconds over.
Yeah. All right, reset. I'll put it next to my head and start. Yeah, everything Nadine said, I agree with. There, I'm done.
That makes it.
If you get something returned and the condition didn't leave your house in, yes, you do have to deal with that. I'm very sympathetic to customers who don't want their item, but if it's something that got worn, like if you get a dress back and it's got perfume on it that didn't have when it left because somebody wore it to the ball and then they sent it back, yeah, I got issues with that. But I try and take every situation as it comes to me. I never preconceive anything. In having a conversation with the customer, you can usually figure out if someone's pulling your leg or there's honestly a problem. So if I send something new and it comes back and it's not new anymore, but they had an actual legit problem, I am fine with taking care of it. But have that conversation. 9 times out of 10, once you go back and forth 2 or 3 times, you can figure out if they are bullshitting you or if they're being honest and they just had an issue.
Good answer.
All right. I came in a little short. I came in like you tonight. Look at that. All right. One quick thing I want to add. I saw in the chat that I never put me on the screen when I was doing mine. It was you the whole time, girlfriend.
Really?
Yes, you weigh the dress with the packaging. So the dress weighed 10.4 ounces. With a poly mailer, it would only weigh 11 ounces. So it would still be first class. Yes, very much so. All right, I want to get our guests in here, run a little behind today, but I want to talk about 2 quick things. We also do another, I'll call it a show, I guess, a little video series called Jay and Nate's Thrift Hauls. Mm-hmm. And even though Nadine has not been out thrifting because of her situation, she does have some items that she has not listed yet from her last thrifting trip, so we're going to do her haul this weekend, and we're going to have a guest. So we're going to have a Nadine haul, and we're going to have a guest haul. So if you want us to grade your haul, hop over to our fan page, which is Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay, and I will show you that real quick. Let me get rid of all the other crap on my screen. If you've not been to our fan page, please go and like it. And this is the place where you see everything that we're doing. You can see who's coming up as our guest, and leave us a message. If you want us to do your haul, we would love to do your haul, so leave us a message there. And one last thing before we bring our guest on. A couple weeks ago, we had an awesome guest named Tim Taylor on. And Tim, when he got on, he teased me by having a shirt in the background that I had sold once and then lost. Guess what I found?
I remember that.
I was in some tubs in my storage unit looking for something, and this is the shirt I sold about a year ago that I never could find. So that customer is long gone, but I did find it. So yay, Tim. I think you having it in the background paid off. So thank you, Tim. I found my shirt I lost a year ago. All is good now.
That's
all right,
funny.
It is time for our guest. Let's bring her on. Margaret Collier has been a great member of Thrifting with the Boys, and she posted something the other day that made me think that's our guest for this week. So welcome, Margaret.
Hi.
Hi, Margaret.
What's happening?
Nice to meet ya. Oh, not a lot. Just hanging out. You know, rocking, rolling, whatnot.
All right, so forewarning, if you've not watched Margaret's videos, they are great. Go watch them. Margaret, like Nadine sometimes, gets a little off track, so I might have to rein.
It must be the redhead thing. That's
when
what
these 2 redheads are talking, I might have to rein them in. I love them both dearly, but we try and bring our show in at a normal time. So I'm going to hand the reins off to Nadine here for a second.
Okay. So, Margaret, I just wanted to have you give us a little synopsis of, we start off, of, kind of, I know you sell on eBay and Etsy, I think just those platforms. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. And I want to know, like, how you got started selling, how long you've been selling. Tell us a little bit about your life, what else you have going on other than selling. Do you have another job, kids, that kind of thing. And specifically what you sell. So if you can just kind of give us a little brief rundown and synopsis of yourself and, how you got started and your selling, we'd appreciate that to start off with.
Okay. Something fell.
I know. I don't know what that was.
Okay. Sorry. Woo! Okay. Okay, so I started selling, it's been about 2 years ago, and honestly I started when, it's the sad part, my grandmother passed away, and we thought, some of the stuff was too awesome to just donate, and so we started selling a little bit, but soon after that I started staying home with my boys, and on the weekends my husband would say, why don't you get out, go do some garage sailing, and so at that point I started realizing, oh, I could really start selling some of this other stuff online. So I started on Etsy and slowly started moving into Etsy and eBay, and then now I do a little bit of Amazon FBA, but not a ton. Did I skip anything? Oh, I used to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you teach?
I taught elementary school.
Okay.
When I retired, I was teaching kindergarten.
Okay. And your family situation right now?
I have 2 boys. They're 5 and 7, and then I have a big boy, and he's 40.
So yeah, you've got your hands full, like I do. Yeah.
So I mean, I sell. I say I'm a part-time seller, but I do it a lot. So.
So do you sell a lot of vintage items?
A lot of vintage. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it because we got a lot of questions from our viewers. Thank you very
Yeah, we're
much for all the
asking all
questions.
viewer questions tonight. So thank you for everybody who contributed for that.
And I'm excited for a couple reasons. There are a couple friends online who keep bugging me to get on Etsy, and I know I have good stuff for it. So tonight's going to be my favorite show. I loved all my other guests, but I can't. I'm learning tonight. I'm learning. All right.
I am too. I'm interested in getting on Etsy too. I sell some vintage items, and I think that they would do better on Etsy than eBay. So I am very excited about this too.
All right. First question: do you list items on both eBay and Etsy? I'm assuming at the same time. If yes, what are the pros and cons of cross-posting?
I do. I cross-post on eBay and Etsy what I can. There are certain restrictions on Etsy, so I can't list things that are not vintage or supplies or handmade. The pros are that I have more eyeballs on my products, and the cons, the only real con is that as soon as something sells and I hear my cha-ching, I just pick up my phone and I have to go to eBay and take it down, or if it's sold on eBay, go over to Etsy and take it down.
So you're like me. I am ballsy. Now, I haven't done Etsy yet, but I list my most expensive CDs on eBay and Amazon at the exact same time, and as soon as I hear it sell one place, you got to pull it off.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, is there a cha-ching for Etsy or anything like eBay? Or
oh, yeah.
The same thing? Same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
cool.
know. See, that's the first thing I've just learned. There we go. Easy peasy. All right, Nay, your way.
Okay. So what are the main differences between selling on eBay and Etsy? Is one more user-friendly than the other?
I don't think so. I think it's what you're used to. Because I started with Etsy, when I went in to start working with eBay, I just was super confused. But the more comfortable I became with it. So I think just either way, if you were so used to eBay, when you come to Etsy, it might seem confusing at first, but it gets easy.
Okay.
And it's great because Deborah Wiggins just asked a question in the chat as the exact next question.
Yeah, that's kind of coincidental.
What are the differences between eBay and Etsy fee-wise? Do you have to pay a listing and percentage to Etsy such as eBay?
You do. Oh, and where'd my... Okay, I have a little... So eBay, well, I know on eBay, depending on your shop, if you have a shop, there's a different fee for that. And then depending on the item, the final value fee, the percentages kind of depends, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like a scale. Well, on Etsy, you pay 20 cents to list. There's no monthly, fee or anything. 20 cents for each item, and that stays up for 4 months. And then whenever it sells, it's a 3.5% final value fee. So it's pretty low. It's pretty cheap.
And cheap is good.
Yeah, I make a lot more money off the items when they sell on Etsy as opposed to eBay.
Okay, that's good to know. The next question.
Your cat's wigging out over there.
Yes, we have cats in the background. Yes, they're usually in the background there. Okay, so in your opinion, does Etsy bring more money for vintage clothing and accessories than eBay? That's a question I'm interested in too, because I sell a lot of vintage items on eBay.
I would think so. I post my things pretty much for the same price on both sites, but I think you can usually get a higher price for vintage things on Etsy as opposed to eBay. But that being said, I've sold vintage things on eBay as well, so it just depends, I guess.
All right, so that brings me to, talk about odd timing. It's always the way the internet works in very small, weird circles. So right before I brought you on, I sold a handmade, homemade Hawaiian dress. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll share that with her. And do you think it would have been better on Etsy? So here, let me share the screen with you here. So here's a dress I sold. And so there is no brand, so I had nothing to go on other than I just kind of described what I saw.
That's adorable.
And I sold it for $38. Now, do you think that would have been better off on Etsy? Here's a full shot of it, by the way. Let me get that up there. There we go.
That, I mean, sure. I think so. I think that would have been perfect to cross-post. But that, I'm trying to see it again. I mean...
Can you bring it up again, Jason? Because we can't see it.
Ha! You guys are having weird technical difficulties because I see it just fine.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would have...
All right, let me turn it off and turn it back on. I am not going to take any responsibility for this technical difficulty tonight because this seems to be... All right, how about now?
I can see it. Can you see it, Margaret?
Mm-hmm, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have done great. It definitely has a very audience, narrow audience. But I think so, yeah.
Do you think that he would have gotten more than, what did you say, 38 something?
$38.
Okay. Do you think he would have gotten more than $38 for it on Etsy?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I had that listed, I probably would have had it for the $50, yeah, or so, or more.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that kind of leads into the next question, really. Well, I understand Etsy was for homemade or crafted items. What can you sell at Etsy? So I think people who have never been on, and Etsy started at a place where it was pretty much just the shit you made, right?
Right, right.
That's what it was. But it changed a little bit to vintage and everything else. So talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so on Etsy you can sell things that you've made, and they've kind of changed that to where it's things that you've made that can be made by somebody else. It's kind of tricky, but homemade items and vintage items, vintage being 20 years, so anything 1996 or before is what they have it set at now. And then supplies. So, and that's kind of a big umbrella.
Like crafting supplies, like beads and stuff like that.
And I was
yarn would be
yarn or
yarn. Okay.
Bits. I mean, really anything could be a supply. If you. Okay. And then I was looking at it because somebody was saying, can you sell, more modern things on there? And so under the supplies, people were selling fabric. And it wasn't all vintage fabric. I saw some Despicable Me fabric that was licensed.
That's obviously not
vintage from 2012.
Yeah, so
that's.
I mean, I think you have to be careful with some of the copyrighted stuff. But I saw people selling, Disney princess fabric on there as a supply.
Can I ask you a specific question then? Have you ever sold yarn? Do you sell yarn at all?
I haven't, but
yeah. Okay, I'm just wondering because I sell a lot of yarn.
No, I'm laughing at your cat just going to town, licking himself behind you.
I know they're part of the show tonight. Yes, I know. I know they're.
All right, we're back to Margaret. Sorry, they called
me. Well,
I sell a lot of yarn on eBay, and I've heard that I would do better on Etsy. Like right now, I have a bunch of cashmere yarn, and I don't understand why it's sitting so long on eBay. Like it's just not. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if I should, go when I cross over, if that would be a good item to.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an auction that's going on now. It's a local auction, and there was a bunch of yarn, and I thought of you. I was like, oh, but I can't jump into it right now. I have so much stuff. But yeah.
All right, now you're up.
Okay, so how do you get traffic on Etsy? This person said that they have a few things listed there, and they have no sales on that part as much as they get on eBay and Amazon.
Right. Well, eBay and Amazon definitely have a huge, it's not a fan base, but a lot more people go to eBay and Amazon than they do to Etsy. Etsy's more like a boutique type. But I sent Jay some images I did a video a while back about favorites and followers. And that's when I first started on Etsy. I would get a few sales here and there, but once you start building up your your followers and people favoriting your things, it really helps drive people's eyes to your shop.
So you want the one with the star first?
Yeah, star first.
Okay, here we go. there we go. Please tell me you see it.
I do. I see it.
Okay, phew.
It took a minute.
You were so quiet. You were so quiet. I'm like, what happened?
Here it is. Okay, so you're the little kitty, and so when people follow you on Etsy, anytime you favorite something, the people that follow you are going to see that. And then there's something on Etsy called treasuries. Anytime you create a treasury or you like a treasury, the people that are following you will see that. So basically followers see your activity.
Can you explain a little bit what a treasury is? I can understand favorites, but the term treasury is kind of...
It's kind of like a little scrapbook or wish list of people find cool items and they make a treasury.
Okay, so it's like a little collection that they almost like a Pinterest board kind of thing? Would that
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And then, so all the people that you've included in your treasury, they'll come and like it, and then all of their people that are following them, and then a lot of times people reciprocate and they put your items in their treasuries, and then that gets more eyes onto your products as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of legwork in the beginning to get.
It can, yeah, and like. When I'm watching a YouTube video, kind of in the background, it's kind of mindless, going through there are things called teams on Etsy, and you join these teams, and people will play these games like follow back, and that way you end up getting more followers.
Okay.
This is a video I haven't done yet. This is on my Etsy tutorial videos to come.
So that kind of reminds me of social media. It's kind of the same way like with Twitter. When I first started using Twitter, I had no followers, and it took a while to build it up and to get it going, and then once you kind of have an audience, so it's kind of the same thing, I would think, right?
And the more followers you end up getting, anytime you list or favorite, people that favorite your shop, the more times you list, those people see in their feed when you've listed.
Oh, so there's actually a feed too,
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason, you want to put up the other one? I'll do the other one.
Yep.
So it's kind of structured more like a social media platform.
Kind of in that respect, yeah.
Yeah.
So here
we go.
So this is because there's something different called favoriting, and people can favorite your shop, and that's the whole circle part, or they can favorite just particular items in your shop. And whenever someone favorites your shop, all the people that follow them get to see that shows up in their feed. So every time, I'll repeat myself. Every time someone favorites something in your shop or your whole shop, then their followers see it too, because they want to see what they're.
Can everyone else see that graphic? Because I see it. I don't see it on the big screen.
I saw it on the big screen.
Okay, that's fine as long as everyone else is seeing it.
All right, we are. I don't know who to yell at for Google Hangouts, but I'll yell at someone later.
That's fine. As long as everybody else is seeing it, I don't care if I can. That's fine.
All right, we are getting close to the hour. We got tons of questions, so let's start.
Oh my gosh, yes, we got to get through these. Okay.
Am I up?
You're up.
All right, I've tried to sell on Etsy many times, and I maybe get lucky to have one sale in months. Do you have to keep listing daily as eBay, and how long did it take you to make Etsy a good business for yourself?
Yeah, like I said, you kind of have to, especially when you have followers and people favoriting, so that they continually see your stuff in their feed up top. But it did take a little time to get established, for sure.
Okay. So this person says, I've sold a few handmade items on Etsy, but could never find a way to search the sold items in general, like on eBay. Is there a way to see what has sold and the prices it's sold for on Etsy?
And that's why Margaret's on our show tonight.
They don't have a feature like on eBay to search completed listings or sold listings. They do, like, here's how I do it. When I'm doing research for something, I'll just do like a Google search. And oftentimes something will pop up that has already sold on Etsy. And there's a way to find out what it sold for, because normally it won't say on there.
All right, so I'm going to show you on your score of the week. We will go, and this is why Margaret's on the show. She shared this in our group, and I love technology hacks like this. So I love this. All right, so
this is great, yeah.
This is one of Margaret's scores, and how much did you pay for this, Margaret?
I paid 25 cents.
Oh my God, what a
That's
story!
crazy. Oh my goodness.
All right, you want to talk us through it?
Okay. Oh, okay. To find the sold listing price, you're going to right-click on the list on the page, not on the picture.
Yes, not on the picture. That's very important.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll go to. No, you're clicking on something else. Because it
I'm
should say.
assuming again everyone can see this but me.
It should say show source or something
Well,
like that.
on a Mac it says inspect elements. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a Mac person too. Okay, do inspect elements. Let's do that.
Hello.
No, view page source. No, do
There we
view
go.
page
There we
source.
go.
Okay.
We're here.
And then you're going to do a search for find on page.
So on a Mac it is Command F.
Command F. And then you're going to type in price.
P-R-I-C-E. And look at the price right there. $134.99.
Yeah.
So you turned a quarter into $135.
That's right.
But now, if that went too quick or if it was a little too haphazard for you, Margaret has a great video. It's on her YouTube channel. It's in our Facebook group, Thrifting with the Boys. But it's a pretty neat little hack. Now, here's the one thing I'm going to forewarn you on, Margaret. Anytime people figure out hacks, the websites figure out ways to stop allowing the hack to happen.
Oh, well, that sucks.
That we used to be able to figure out eBay solds when they wouldn't show us the sold price by going to eBay Italy, eBay UK, and they squashed all that. So I have a sneaking suspicion this will happen too. But for now, that's how you get around it.
Yeah. You can also find, let's say you have a certain store, you can look at their sold listings in that way, but you can't do a big search for completed listings.
I wonder why they don't have that feature though. It's not anything that's really, a secretive thing. It would help. I think it would help everyone, sellers and buyers. I don't understand why they don't. Odd.
All right.
But.
Can you explain? Am I up or you up?
Let me see. Yeah, I think you're up with the. Could you please the shipping question?
Can you please explain shipping on Etsy? I've heard there's only 5 shipping prices you can offer, including international. Is there a trick to it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
Yes. Could you please explain shipping on Etsy? I've heard there's only 5 shipping prices you can offer, including international. Is there a trick to it?
No, that's not true.
Oh, not true. Bad information. Bad.
No. There are 2. I have a video coming up tomorrow about shipping and creating shipping profiles. Mm-hmm. You can create your own shipping profiles, and let's say you want to charge $10 to ship this item or whatever, and then set how much it'll go to Canada or how much to go to anywhere else in the world. And then Etsy has just started doing a calculated shipping where you can put in the weight and the size of the box, and they'll calculate everything for you. So, no, there's not just 4 or 5 or whatever shipping options.
Cool.
Okay, so that was bad information. That's good to know. Okay. If you have a store and you sell vintage, such as patterns that are 20+ years old, could you sell fabrics, not vintage fabrics, as crafts in the same store? I think the answer would be yes.
Yeah, I think you kind of answered that already.
Yeah, I think we've answered that already, so I think we can skip to the next question.
And then we've seen her store name, and many people threw it up in the chat.
Yeah, so I don't know if has it been up in the chat then?
Oh yeah, like 72 people typed her store name, so she has a lot of friends and followers.
Okay. So as long as we have that up.
Oh yeah. Plus, we're going to show another one of her scores.
And we want her eBay store too in there, not just
that'll be next.
so that we can.
I find that I sell more higher price items on Etsy as opposed to eBay. Do you find this true for you too?
Generally, but not always. That's the thing. Specialty type of things. No, not always.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next one. Do you feel like you know what type of buyers you have on Etsy compared to eBay?
No, because I sell kind of everything. There are people that have separate stores for separate type of things that they sell, but I just put it all in one big happy store. And
one big happy store.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of good, because it works right into the next question. I'm going back to Etsy after a long break. Is it better to have at least 12 to 15 items in my new store before it goes live, or do you recommend doling them out over a series of hours or days so that I always have a recently listed item?
That's a good question. Personally, I'm an all-in kind of girl and just dive right into it.
And I like that about you. I'm all in. Push all my chips to the front. I'm all in.
That's me.
Great. Good answer. Okay. The next question is, can you speak about the big controversy over items from China and how it has affected your business? I was over there. There's a lot of flap about it. I'm not sure what that exactly means. But does it affect you as an individual seller at all? I don't know if you know what they're talking about.
I think what they're talking about is that Etsy changed the rules about how people hand make things. Like I can design something and then have somebody in China make my designs for me to sell. I think that's what they're talking about.
Okay.
So that it's not like me behind my sewing machine making it.
So you like make the pattern for a doll, say, and then you design it, and then you send it off to China, and they produce it, and then that's what you're saying. That's what
they're talking about. But because I don't do any handmade stuff, mine's all like vintage and things like that. I don't really find that as a problem.
It doesn't affect you. It's not. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So the next one's kind of an answer already. I don't know if this one makes sense. Tell me if this one makes sense. Can you please explain the Etsy requirements regarding selling items as a vintage reseller in an Etsy store? Now, is that what we just covered, or is that some other lingo I'm not aware of?
Well, I don't know if they're talking about yeah, I don't know. I just don't know.
All right. Well, let's go.
That's fine. Okay. What is the difference impact if your shop is favorited and item favorites, and if you're followed? Is one better than the other? Are they all the same? Do you prefer as a seller one over the other? I know you kind of touched on that a little bit with the graphic.
It all kind of ties in because I want the people that favorite my items, I want them to have a lot of followers, because then if they favorite my item, then all of their followers get to see the item that they favorite of mine. So it all kind of ties together.
Okay. Good answer.
Those you keep asking for Margaret's store name, and it's been typed a few times. Look right beneath where it says Margaret on the screen. Texas Gal Treasures.
And that's my YouTube too. So I have the thing about the treasuries and the followers and favorites. I have videos on those things too there.
So they can just now your YouTube. They could just search for Texas Gal Treasures on YouTube and find you easily, right? Yes. Okay.
And I'm going to skip ahead to this one because this is very interesting. Have you noticed a difference in sales since Etsy redid the categories in January, February? I've heard several people complain about less sales. I
haven't had less sales, so.
Now, me being not on Etsy, was there a big deal in January, February with this change?
Well, they made their categories a lot more specific, but it just, I mean, for me, it just was it was a non-issue. It was just like, okay, I'll go back because you had to go back and kind of look at some of your older listings, because Etsy did their best to kind of try to figure out where it would fall, and it might not have been in the right category.
I was going to say, so did you have something that was so wrong that you made you laugh?
Yeah, there were some that I was just like, no, that's not. You know.
That's a coffee mug, not a sexual aid. Okay, moving on to the next category. Is there an adult category in Etsy?
That's a good question. Probably. They sell everything.
I
made dildos, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. I guess you can hand make anything. So.
Yeah. All right, now do the one about the next one right after the one I read about the keywords.
Okay. Do you find it better to repeat certain keywords in your tags or put more descriptive terms in?
I guess they mean the tags or the title, does it say?
Well, they said, should they repeat words in the title or just add it more in the keywords or in the tags?
Both. I mean, I try not. I mean, as much as I can, I try not to repeat words because I want to get as many options of possible searches onto my items.
Okay.
And
I think, Jason, you were actually saying the one after that, weren't you? Yes. Or was that the question?
No, that was the question.
Okay, good.
I like this next question because this is something that people don't ever really think about. How do you decide on your Etsy prices? Past sales, the value of your time. No one ever thinks about the value of your time.
That is a good point.
I'm going to pop myself in here for a second because we had somebody, and I'm not calling you out by name, we had somebody in the group the other day looking for a particular drinking mug, and they spent hours, and it's an item that's going to be maybe $12, $15. And I always feel horrible when I see that. I see that quite often. Yes, when you come to our group, we want you to have done some research. And we say some research, 5-10 minutes is good if you've put in the effort. Like, okay, I've looked up the brand or the style. And if you can't find it on Google or YouTube or eBay or WorthPoint or Terapeak, then come to the group and ask. Do not spend hours. Now, if you got a $10,000 item and you want to really research it, yes, spend hours. You got a $12 item, value your time.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
that being said, Margaret, how do you decide?
I do search. I do like a quick search on just Google and see what all pops up that's similar to my item, and then I do a quick search on Etsy, and then I sort by highest price item, and then I kind of go from there. I generally price my things high because I figure I can always bring it down. People, if it's on eBay, they'll send me a best offer. Sometimes on Etsy, they'll send an email saying, "Can you work with me on the price?" But I usually price high. That's what I do.
Good.
Good answer. All right, Nate, read that last big one. So it's a good question to end on, I think. And,
okay.
Then
we've already hit the other one. So.
Yes, we have.
Yep. Okay. I have had 2 shops on Etsy for 5 or 6 years. One for jewelry repurposed from vintage items, and one shop for vintage fabric. I'm trying to expand the fabric shop to the other vintage items. My question to Margaret would be if she finds the fact that sellers are limited to 5 photos a hindrance when listing vintage items. On eBay, I usually use more than 5 photos, especially for vintage items. Did you get all that?
I got it.
Okay.
I don't think it's so much as a hindrance. I definitely have more photographs on my eBay listings, but you just have to work with your real estate. You know, you got to make the most of it and go with that. I mean, really take good pictures that show all of the aspects of it.
Now, one other point that I'd like to bring up with the photos is the photos. I know the photos that you use for Etsy are different than what you would use for eBay. Like they're it's kind of more artsy, isn't it? Like you kind of I know people like kind of stage items a little more, and
people do.
Yeah. Do you do that, or do you use? Okay, so you'll use the same photo that you'd use for eBay and Etsy, and it's fine. Okay, I didn't know because I know there tends to be like a little more of an artsy flair to Etsy.
Some people do. And my sister, she was like telling me, "Oh, this would look so cute, and we could make a little like tea set behind it." And like,
right. But it seems like that's putting a lot of time into something that you know. I mean, if you're gonna get like a big return for it, maybe, but it seems like it's another.
Yeah, mostly no.
All right, well, and this is going to wrap up real nice because I'm going to show you your other score. This picture is bananas. You are a good photographer.
Really? Thanks.
Holy cow. This is amazing. So here it is on eBay. I hope you can all see it.
I cannot, but...
Well, hang on a minute. I haven't shared my screen yet. There we go.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yes.
That picture for a little item is amazing.
That's great macro on
Well done.
Yeah.
Stop.
So did you? Obviously, you use the macro feature on your camera. Do you use an actual? I assume you're using a camera and not a phone, right?
I'm using my iPhone.
Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Look at that shot. That shot's amazing.
And that's from your iPhone.
That's my iPhone.
Now, what'd you pay for this little guy?
What iPhone do you have?
It's iPhone 6, I think.
Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. Yeah.
I got him in a lot of cufflinks, tie tacks, and stuff, and everything when I averaged out to be about 85 cents a piece.
Woo!
Wow.
100 times your money. Nice.
That is awesome.
We all show our scores, and now we're going to show your dud.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Margaret and I were talking about this a little bit. Yeah.
Norm Thompson tweed blazer.
Yeah. Slashing prices.
So,
what do you know?
so why'd you think it was good, or tell us how it ended up being a dud for you?
Well, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of people that sell clothing, and I thought, oh, that sounds really cool. So I started going into the jacket section and researching. Well, for one, I would look at sold, but I wasn't really paying attention to when it sold, like the date on it. And then, I thought the tweed was kind of cool, so I thought, well, why not? I'll give it a try. And no.
Yeah, not doing so well for you there.
No, and I don't think I'm really into selling the clothes that much. I just am not in. I don't know.
I sold a sports coat for $300 last week. I paid $5 for.
See, that's what I'm into. I did sell a cashmere jacket. That was nice. I made a nice return on that.
Cashmere, anything sells well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so that is our show. We're a little over time, so I want to wrap it up. Margaret, you are the bomb diggity.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I love your videos. I love you're like us. Your just willingness to help people. That's always a near and dear place to our hearts. So that's why we wanted to have you on, talk about Etsy. I am going to get something listed on Etsy next week. I am starting it. You have lit the fire under my ass, girlfriend.
I'll come follow you and favorite your shop.
Oh, beautiful. All right, so give yourself a plug. Where can people see you, buy your stuff? Let it go, girl.
Okay, I'm on Etsy and eBay, both Texas Gal Treasures, and I am on YouTube at Texas Gal Treasures as well. And I post pretty frequently haul videos, sales videos, lots of tutorials, and just silliness.
Yes, silliness. Margaret adds her bloopers to the end, so there's a lot of fun silliness. I absolutely love watching. All right, if you like what you saw tonight, click on like down below. Subscribe to me. Oops, I'll go this way. Subscribe to me over here so you know when we're having other videos come out. If you don't like it, fine. Give us a thumbs down. But tell us why. You didn't like our guests. You didn't like my big black dick. You didn't like Nadine's hair. Just tell us why.
My hair.
To improve the show. And with that note, I'm going to leave you with this picture. I'm going to post it on our fan page later. But I thought I'd seen it all at thrift stores until I was in Orlando, and this blew me away. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a thrift store with about 30 toilets, and they weren't new. So that.
Are you kidding me? That was wow. That was.
Yeah. I opened the toilet to make sure, and I'm like, nope, these have been used. And
I wonder if they cleared them out. That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, I'm sure. But had I been in Vegas, I would have went for the full Monty and pulled my pants down for this picture, because if I would have got arrested, I would have been home. To get arrested in Orlando would be a big pain in my ass. So that is our show for this evening. I want to thank Margaret. You were an awesome guest, so thank you very much. We will have you back.
Yes, thank you. You were great.
Nay, it's great to see you. You are looking good, and I'm glad you're feeling good, and good luck tomorrow at the doctor's.
Thank you. Yeah.
I am going to go drink at Frankie's. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Have a good night. For Vegas J, I say au revoir.
Okay, bye, everybody. Thank you, and thank you so much, Margaret. You were great.
Oh, it was fun. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.